Ready to get your mind blown by some awesome next-gen games? Today, we're checking out the 10 best stunning next-gen PS5 games you gotta play. These games look amazing, play great, and will totally suck you in. And don't miss the cool bonus games at the end. But before we jump in, make sure to hit that subscribe button, and let's look at the first game on our list. Yakuza Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Yep, you heard it right. We are back with another brand new Yakuza game. Not gonna lie guys, I'm a huge fan of the series. I remember the first time I played Yakuza Kiwami on my low-end laptop. It was one of the best experiences I ever had. The game is such a masterpiece that it showcases every minor activity and details in a tightly packed open world. We all know that Yakuza series is mostly known for its diverse content, storyline, and combat moves. There's a guy at every corner asking for help and turning our main mission into side quest. It's crazy how many things you can do in these games besides the main stuff. Now, after a long time, we are getting a chance to experience that magical feeling again in the brand new Like a Dragon game. Sadly, this time we don't have Kiryu on our side, but still the game offers a lot and is upgraded in terms of graphics and visuals. It just looks so much fun, and the new character is a bit different than our favorite Dragon of Dojima. I love the idea of seeing a new protagonist and experiencing a new story with jokes and punchlines. Also, we can all agree that it's so much better to play another Yakuza game regardless of whether the OG Kazuma Kiryu is present. Elden Ring DLC. I'm so glad that I'm finally talking about this game. The DLC is such a marvelous job. It almost feels like a brand new game. There are tons of bosses scattered through various areas, which gives us the feeling that it's a whole new game rather than a simple DLC. Not a lot of people talk about it, but I believe the creators did a great job creating such a DLC and publishing it after the 2 years release of the main game. It's one of those moments where you feel like that you got a new From Software game. Shadow of the Erdtree features a lot of cool bosses and players are going crazy about it. The difficulty level is still there, though of course none of them comes close to the level of Millennia, but still all this new content is worthy of the $40 price tag. Now, for those of you who never played Elden Ring or any Souls game, then briefly I would say this is not your usual Call of Duty stuff. The game is not for you if you are not open to insane difficulties. You must make peace with dying over 100 times. Finally, you shouldn't skip this one and get your copy if you're a fan of Elden Ring. Also, tell me some of your favorite Elden Ring moments. What are some of the toughest boss battles you completed?
Come now, touch the withered arm and travel to the realm of shadow. I will not be far behind.
Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Give a big welcome to the Grand Marshals of our parade, Ratchet and Clank!
This is a game that has stuck with me since the release of the PS5. Honestly, at that time I couldn't afford the PS5, but kept on seeing the gameplay videos and other features. So, every time PS5 was mentioned, Ratchet and Clank was one of those games that was added in the bundle along with 2 other games. I have only played a handful of Ratchet and Clank games, especially the popular ones. Still, I could say that if you need a refreshing feeling and just wants to come home from work, boot up your console to have a not so deeply story experience, but rather a fast-paced, sort of like hack and slash, then this game is your best choice. This is a game that is on the level of Devil May Cry in terms of style and humor. You are just saving the world by killing enemies in style with jokes and punchlines. Graphics are the most important part of Rift Apart. It can even counter the famous animated movies. Every scene looks like if it's straight out from an 8K movie. If you're looking for a game to play on PS5 solely because of the graphics, then Rift Apart is the most suitable choice. It's great to have a buddy on your side in the mission of saving the world from an evil villain. There's a lot of cool action, stylish cutscenes, humorous jokes, and slashing combat throughout the storyline.
Oh dear, he is targeting us. His defenses are weakening.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Alright folks, I'm not focusing on the performance aspect of this game because it runs pretty terrible on PC, and you will need a fairly high-end card, but it's not the topic of discussion right now. So, Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the PS5. If you've ever wanted to feel like a true Jedi Knight, this game is your golden ticket. Trust me, as a lifelong Star Wars fan, this one hit all the right notes for me. So, you're back as Cal Kestis, our favorite redhead Jedi on the run after the infamous Order 66. The story picks up right where Jedi Fallen Order left off, so if you're into deep lore, intense lightsaber battles, and a galaxy full of secrets, this game's got you covered. It's linear, which means you won't get lost in endless side quests, just pure unfiltered Star Wars goodness. Gameplay-wise, it's a blast. You're swinging lightsabers, using the Force to mess with your enemies, and parkouring across alien landscapes like you've got springs in your boots. The combat feels super smooth on the PS5, and the haptic feedback is like a cherry on top. Every lightsaber swing and Force push feels so real, you might start looking for a Wookiee to be your co-pilot. Now, let's talk visuals. Holy Bama, this game is gorgeous. The PS5 really brings the Star Wars universe to life. You'll visit lush forests, eerie ruins, and bustling spaceports, all rendered in stunning detail. The character models and special effects are top-notch, making you feel like you're right there in the action. It's like watching a Star Wars movie, but you get to be the hero. How cool is that?
I need help.
So, if you're itching for a new adventure in a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars Jedi Survivor on the PS5 is a must-play. It's got everything a Star Wars fan could want. Epic battles, deep story, and visuals that'll make your jaw drop. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one.
Okay, now where?
Alan Wake 2. I don't think I need to say much about Alan Wake series. I mean, we all know how much gamers were waiting for a sequel. I was one of those who thought that original Alan Wake is a pretty basic game and was kinda ignoring, but crazily I had such a fun time playing the game. You must play the original Alan Wake before playing the sequel. There are so many connected moments and places that will give you a nostalgia feeling, and you'll be happy to see them again in the sequel. Honestly, the game is not that horrifying. Maybe it's just me, but the horror element was fairly less and didn't give me any jump scares. I believe that both games are more focused on thrill and suspense.
He's with me, Anderson. Killer left a message.
It's for us.
We were all trapped in a horror story. The horror story.
The sequel is so much better mainly in terms of visuals and graphics. In fact, probably some of you guys won't be able to run the game even on medium settings if you have a mid or low-end PC. Now, the most important factors that makes the sequel appealing are the improvements, storyline, playing as two characters, and the fact that we got a new Alan Wake game after many years. If you're looking for some thrilling game with a lot of case-solving stuff, then the sequel is for you. The original is more of a straightforward game and features less puzzle-solving elements. Nevertheless, I love the chance of playing as Alan Wake again with improved quality. In my opinion, you guys will have a better playthrough if you play the series in chronological order. The story will feel more connected, and you won't get bored. Demon's Souls Remake. Alright, so it's time for some Souls game action. Now, Demon's Souls is not that well appreciated in the Souls genre. Not everyone likes it, and it's an underrated one. The only reason I'm including this game is because it looks great on PS5, and to give it some exposure. I always recommend playing other Souls game first before trying luck in this one. There are just some features about it that you may not like, and in my opinion, Dark Souls, Elden Ring, Sekiro, they are far better than Demon's Souls. So, if it's your first time entering into the Souls genre, then my suggestion would be to start with other games for a much better experience. I can confidently say that this game is a good option if you have played all the major Souls games. It also offers some crazy boss fights and some pesky dark areas which will be hard to navigate. Finally, I know that some of you like this game and probably started your Souls journey with this one, but I just believe that it's better to play some better mainstream games if you're a newcomer in the Souls genre. Plague Tale Requiem.
Get tired? I really should get back to studying.
Come on, we had a long journey today. Please, Mother said to try to exhaust him.
This game is crazily underrated. Plague Tale is a series that told us what a dedicated low-budget studio can do. The creators did one of the best jobs with such a small budget. The game almost feels like on the level of major AAA titles. Also, I'll just quickly say that there's also a first part titled as Innocence, which is another masterpiece. If you ever decide to play the series, then start with the original. I have talked about that game several times on this channel, so we will not go there as the sequel is super amazing. Once again, we are getting the chance to continue the storyline of Amisha.
We didn't mean to trespass. We fell here by accident. We'll leave if you show us how.
Lies!
I swear. I don't know what's happening here, but we have nothing to do with it.
Lies!
What's best about both games is how well paced the story is. Every moment feels right and perfect. Now, the only downside is that if you're not a fan of slow pacing games, then this one is not for you. There's not much of a fast-paced action like Devil May Cry or Witcher. The gameplay mostly consists of sneaking around, crouching, using environmental traps or objects. It's one of those linear experiences where you have control over everything and must stay patient for a great overall experience. Not gonna lie, I dropped the game for the first time as I got bored, but after finally finishing it, I was so happy and fully amazed by the concept and ending. Plague Tale series is a prime example of what a AA linear game can do.
You handle it, and don't disappoint me. But the boy, he's the right age to learn. You shouldn't have come.
You don't want
Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection.
Ourselves on you. Understood.
Meet you back at the car.
Yep.
This version includes 2 amazing Uncharted games, and with marginal graphic improvements, subtle improvements in shadows, draw distance, textures, and so forth. The final title in Nathan Drake's journey is nothing short of a fantastic story packed with insane action scenes and some wholesome moments. Even though I love to play another installment of these amazing games, I'm just really glad that the creators decided to end Nathan's journey in such a peaceful manner. They showed all of us what it means to be treasure seeker and what challenges we are gonna face.
Didn't take you for an archaeologist. That would be my dad, actually. I'm just a thief, remember? Hey, is the rental equipped with a
I believe
winch?
that some players do feel that the game is boring or maybe slow-paced, but trust me, it's actually a bizarre adventure that gives you moments upon moments filled with action and bonding. You're always on your toes looking for the next clue or solving another secret. The game keeps you engaged as it's not an open world. You will go from one place to another in a linear manner, taking your time, killing the enemies, and doing parkour movements. The colors and visuals will be magically beautiful, giving you the best value for your money. Kinna, Bridge of Spirits.
I can see that. You both look very strong. Do you know who that spirit was with the horned mask?
We don't know, but when he shows up, the girl's poison grows stronger.
It's crazy that we are talking about this game again. Now, please don't comment that the list is getting repetitive. I just had to mention this underrated gem. It looks magical on PS5. The graphics and visuals make you feel like you're in a complete sync with the world and the character. You know what? Kinna is one of those games that contains stunning visuals and a decent combat. It's like Beauty and the Beast. However, the best thing I like is that the monsters doesn't feel too dark or pressurizing. You play as a little girl helping the spirits in a forgotten land. So, the overall feeling stays positive even after defeating the monsters. The sense of beauty and visuals overshadows the darkness. The visuals and graphics make up for anything that the game lacks in gameplay mechanics. I definitely recommend playing this game. This is such a huge opportunity and a perfect time to show our love and support to these low-budget developers. The future of AA games looks promising. We are in a time that most new small-budget games are rivaling the mainstream titles. It's so good to see the gaming community evolving and delivering such amazing titles. Finally, Kena contains your usual hidden item stuff, fine combat, visually satisfying world, and smooth cutscenes. It's superb to see the game seamlessly transitions from cutscene to gameplay.
On my way, I met two children. They asked me to help free a boy named Taro.
I'm not surprised that Benny and Saya found you. They are clever children and would do anything for their brother.
Before I reveal my final pick, here are some bonus games for you. Starting with the most recent Helldivers 2. This game is such a fresh look at shooting games. The game shows procedurally generated areas, which means you always see something new and different. There is no such thing as repetition or feeling bored. The entire game is all about killing other enemies with a variety of weapons. Gamers are loving this game as they have the option to use several weapons in the battlefield. Helldivers 2 shows the full potential of PS5 in shooting games. Now, another one is Resident Evil Village. This might not be the best Resident Evil game, but it's such a great feeling to experience the usual survival horror in 4K resolution on PS5. I believe the thrill you get playing such games on modern consoles is just awesome. You feel like that you are in sync with the game. Also, as a bonus tip, try turning off the lights and playing the game in the dark. Trust me, you will have an all-out blast. You will be amazed after seeing those cutscenes and navigating through dark areas or the mansion. Now, let's talk about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I am a huge fan of Final Fantasy series, but somehow I felt less excited in Rebirth. It's just my opinion, but I think that Remake is far better. Sure, there are better graphics or visuals in the sequel, but the nostalgic feeling was far better in the remake. Nevertheless, I want you guys to play the sequel if you are a fan of the series and want to continue the story of Cloud Strife. Sephiroth is the most iconic villain of all time. I can say that even if someone who's not familiar with the series must know about Sephiroth.
Is what a scoundrel might say. But I wouldn't dream of distressing y'all further. Just so happens one of our birds ran off the other day. Wild thing.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
He's throwing that thing! We got this!
This is a game that solely deserves the spot as almost anyone can play it regardless of their favorite genre. Spider-Man 2 features Venom, which is the ultimate factor that you should be looking forward to. It's been a crazy long time since we got a chance to look at the Venom in Spidey games. It's just awesome to see such fine-looking Venom packed with both Spider-Man. You could say that the game is an all-out package of ultimate graphics and fan-favorite characters. Now, I'm a huge fan of the OG 2018's release, but this sequel cracks up a notch. There's so much content in it that you will be spending over 50 hours. Loki. Insomniac is just squeezing out of the whole Spider-Man stuff. They should focus on newer titles, but still I won't complain as long as we get to see something better and new just like in the sequel. I was happy seeing the seamless transition between both Spider-Man. The feeling was just out of this world. You can easily say that all these new features or additions made the overall gameplay highly engaging. Though, it's no doubt that every Spider-Man game comes on top mostly because of the name itself and advanced visuals. Nevertheless, I do recommend trying it out, and if you haven't played the 2018's release, then make sure to play it before getting your hands on the sequel. Alright, this finishes our list of 10 best PS5 games that you must play in 2024. These games crack up a notch on PS5's capability. They test the console's ability to run games in high FPS, along with ultra graphics and textures. I'm so glad that I got the chance to experience these games in such great quality. PlayStation is dominating the market, and I hope we get to see more enhancements in the future. Anyways, if you have made it this far, then please subscribe as I'm close to reaching 15,000 subscribers.